And now I'd like to bring Moua to the podium. She will present the Hubert Humphrey Civil and Human Rights Award to Laura Murphy. Me?
First, let me say that as a former 3-term member of the Minnesota State Legislature and a member of the Democratic Farmer Labor Party, I am extremely proud to be here at the Hubert H. Humphrey Civil and Human Rights Awards dinner. My public career has been devoted to advancing the principles of individual freedom, civil liberties, and social justice, the essence of democracy that brought my family to this country from Laos, that Hubert Humphrey fought for all his life, and that the Leadership Conference works for every day. That is why I now serve as the Executive Director of Asian Americans Advancing Justice and continue to fight for the rights of others, like so many of you here tonight. Over the years, Advancing Justice AAJC has been proud to work with Laura Murphy when she served as the Washington representative of the American Civil Liberties Union, especially during the years after the terrorist attacks of September 11th. It has not been easy for Laura to represent the ACLU and defend the rights of immigrants, journalists, dissenters, and whistleblowers. At a time of increasing inequality and political polarization, a time as racial, ethnic, and religious minorities have also come under attack, as has the right to vote. And it has taken a heroic effort to turn the tide on LGBT rights, including marriage equality and military service. But during several stints at the ACLU, Laura Murphy has defended these causes and constituencies, and she has done it with grace, skill, resiliency, and diplomacy. Let's face it, Laura Murphy isn't just only a natural leader. She is a force of nature. And I am sure many of you in this room will agree with me when I say that I hope that I grow up to be just like you. Born in Baltimore, her family background has prepared her for every challenge. Her great-grandfather, John Henry Murphy, formerly enslaved, founded the Afro-American newspaper. An uncle, George Murphy, was a union organizer. Her father, William H. Murphy Sr., was the second African-American judge in Baltimore. And her brother, William H. Murphy Jr., is a leading lawyer in Baltimore and a former mayoral candidate. Yo, Billy. Laura leaves a great legacy at the ACLU. But I know that in her new role as a consultant, she is not retiring from the Civil Rights Coalition and the struggles that we share. She's just going to come right at it from a different path. I am so honored tonight to present the Hubert H. Humphrey Civil and Human Rights Award to my friend, my colleague, and my role model, Laura Murphy.
Thank you, Me. I asked Me to introduce me, and without realizing what a challenge her name would be, when Lisa Haywood said, "Who would you like to have introduce you?" And I said, "Well, why don't you ask me?" She said, "I'm asking you." So Me, I think you are phenomenal talent, and throughout my career, I, have always tried to develop young women of color, especially young people, and you are a star. I consider this the honor of a lifetime and the pinnacle of my career. My parents, thank you. My parents would be so proud, and I feel like they are with me tonight, and they are thanking you, Wade. This award means more than you can ever know. Thank you to the entire Leadership Conference community for being such great friends and colleagues over the years. The Leadership Conference is part of my extended family and my soul. I've been so lucky to have worked with your founders, and these people mentored me. Clarence Mitchell was a family friend and brother of my Congressman, Perrin Mitchell. I adored the chain-smoking Arnie Aronson, traded barbs with Joe Rao, lobbied alongside Ralph Neese, and I served on the legislative task force with Jane O'Grady and with the late Ron Brown long before he was ever Commerce Secretary. And tonight I'm being honored along with two men who I can call my heroes. Senator Dole is a legislator's legislator and one of the most effective Republican leaders who's ever served in the Senate. I've been so privileged to have worked closely with Attorney General Eric Holder for decades. He is, in my opinion, simply the best Attorney General ever. I mean that. And so when the books are being written about you, Sharon, Eric, please send the authors to me because I want to tell them about your integrity and your great accomplishments. Growing up as the youngest of 5 children in Judge Bill and Madeline Murphy's household was unique. We didn't just eat dinner at the dinner table. We learned about politics, journalism, and the law. Our dinner table was not just a place to have food, it was a place for discussions, and my father cross-examined each of us and expected us to have opinions on current events. And we were expected to know the news, and at a minimum, to read the family-owned newspaper, The Afro-American. As you can imagine, I was raised to speak up and fight for rights of people who could not fight for themselves, the truly disenfranchised. That led me to Capitol Hill at the young age of 20, and that in turn led me to the ACLU. And I especially want to thank everyone at the ACLU, those of you who are here and those who are not, for our tremendous experiences together and for the important work that you continue to do. It may look like I've retired. Yes, please give a applause for the ACLU. It may look like I've retired, but who can retire in the fight for civil and human rights? It's in my DNA. So in my retirement, I found myself being pulled back to my hometown of Baltimore. I led a meeting there recently for Baltimore faith leaders, activists, young and old, that featured Attorney General Loretta Lynch and our dear and precious Vanita Gupta, who is acting Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. Oh, and there happened to be a fantastic lead attorney there, Billy Murphy, but we won't go into that. He happens to be my brother. As so many of our inner cities are beginning to transform and prosper, we cannot afford to leave anyone behind. As I said in my op-ed in the Baltimore Sun just 2 weeks ago, everyone is affected when sections of our community suffer. I applaud the heroic efforts of our new Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, who is assuring that the police department in Baltimore is being investigated. It's sad to say that We had the same discussions about the police that we're having now around my dinner table 50 years ago. During my career, I've seen Democrats and Republicans, progressives and conservatives work to secure the moral fiber of this country. We must maintain faith that we can change laws, we can change lives. We must continue to break through traditional party lines and religious and economic barriers if we are to achieve a just society. My parents would be proud that I brought their teachings from the dinner table to life. This honor, this award, is truly a tribute to them. No woman who is a pillar in the community stands by herself, so I am profoundly blessed to have the support of my family and friends, my son and stepson, Bertram and William, and my dear husband, Bill, who has kept me grounded and inspired. Thank you, honey. There are so many other people I could thank tonight, but I just want to say thank you so much for this honor, and let's carry on. Thank you.